Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Krishna. Yeah. So, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So, what does it mean to cry for Krishna? So, you have to cry for Krishna. It means like a baby. You hear a baby cry in complete helplessness, and they cry, and it's like they can't even catch their breath. You know, they're just crying and crying for Krishna. That kind of crying. That's the kind of crying, like a baby, a helpless baby. It's crying for its mother. That's the kind of crying for Krishna. Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. I was thinking, you know, whatever, the verse from Gita, you know, whatever you think of at the time of death, that state you attain without fail, whatever you think of. So like, what are people doing, you know, all day long? That's what you tend to think about, especially when you go to sleep, you know. What you've been doing during the day, that kind of floats around in your brain, you know. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. So, what are our activities during the day? You know, what are we surrounding ourselves with? You know, at the time of death, you know, going to sleep is kind of like dying, you know. It's kind of like dying. It's like dying every night and then being reborn with the birth of the sun in the morning, you know. And so what are we doing, you know, during the day? So when we lie down to go to sleep, what are we thinking of? You know? Yeah, that state we attain without fail. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Oh no. Oh gosh, this technology. Goodness, I'll have to come up with some better arrangement here. Krishna. Govinda. Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, yesterday I was reading from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and it's a pretty delicate section where the distinction is being made between material sexual experience and ecstatic love of Godhead. It's like a switch that gets flicked. The ahamkara and omkara. Ahamkara is I'm this body, and you flick the switch like a light switch, and it's omkara. I'm a spiritual being. It's like a little switch when you turn the light on. So this devotee was questioning, about the. He asked the question: does Krishna have genitals? Okay, so it's. I hate to say it, but it's kind of a dumb question. It's really a stupid question. Krishna's a person, Hare Krishna, but he's not a material person. He's not material. There's nothing material about Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama. So, on the spur of the moment, because it's kind of a delicate question, the problem with material sex is if you talk about it, you're there. The pornography industry knows about that, and the hot phone calls, they all know about that. Because you can arouse a person's sexual appetite just by talking about it. So it's kind of a delicate situation. Definitely don't want to do that for a spiritualist. So the best I could do with it at the time was a couple things. First I said, Krishna's not a material being, and Sakalendriya, which is the Sanskrit for all the different parts of a spiritual body. And when we are actually experiencing our spiritual body, we'll experience the same thing. That all the different parts of the body are interchangeable. They're not specified to a specific organ of sense. So Krishna can eat with his eyes. He can experience taste with his nose. So a sexual experience isn't necessarily restricted to a certain part of a body. because these are on the spiritual platform. Has nothing to do with the body, material covering. And then they wanted to know more about this because obviously they're dealing with it in their personal life. They're trying to see how things work and become free from these material pullings and pushings. And so they want to know, well, how do you understand spiritual, sexual experience? So the best I could do with that at the time was that, well, material experience, the way to understand something, you can hear about it, that's one way, but then to also experience it is another way. So we know, material sex, we know what that is, we experience it, we know. So to know spiritual sexual experience in union with the Supreme Person in our spiritual bodies, that also is a matter of experiencing. Like we can hear about it, that this is the case, so then we hear about it. But to really, really know something in the sense of have awareness of it, be cognizant, conscious, not just hearing about it in a kind of knowledge acquiring way, but to actually know by direct experience. We have to experience our relationship with the Lord, then we'll actually know. And Krishna explains it. He says, I am understood by pure devotional service. Standing here before you, I'm understood. This was his instruction to Arjuna. It's only by undivided, pure devotional service that I am understood as I am standing before you. So it's experiential. The spiritual life is experiential. That's what they mean by realized knowledge, is realized through the experience. And so then I was further considering this morning, I was going through my Crying Like a Baby program for the Lord. Then hearing first-class intelligence, different kinds of intelligences. So first-class intelligent person is someone who has that experience by hearing. So that's the significance of hearing from the realized souls, is that we can have the same experience that they have in their loving relationship with the Lord by hearing. Hare Krishna. That's spiritual intelligence or first-class intelligence. If that isn't happening, then we can see someone else going through something or experience something, and then we can understand by seeing someone else. It's like a vicarious experience. Go to the movies, we experience vicariously what's going on in the dramatic performance. It's vicarious. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then, the most dull type of personality is they hear about it, they see someone else going through it, they even go through it themselves, they still don't get it, so that takes some working. That's mostly what is around us here in Kali Yuga, is personalities with this very deficient intelligence, spiritual intelligence. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. It's one of the characteristics of the times that we're living in. It's a very, 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 very minuscule spiritual intelligence. Hare Krishna, Hare. But by hearing Hare Krishna regularly, that's another thing, like this path of Raganuga opening up by the grace of Srila Gaur Haridas, our pioneer acharya in this revival or re-enlivenment of the Raganuga practice, spontaneous devotion to the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So the two different paths are being revealed, that there's the Vaidhi Bhakti, which is according to rules and regulations, which is an external platform. By modifying the behavior, then one can be brought into practical service, engaging the body and the mind. And the main thing is to keep hearing, but the modification of behavior, it's kind of almost like a psychological, that's what happens in psychology. They study behavior. They try to modify the behavior. So it's kind of like a behavior modifier, by acting in certain ways, then Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. But the real thing is to continue hearing. So that's helpful while that's going on, just like worshiping the deity. The real thing is the kirtan that's going on in front of the deity. That's the actual religion for the age, not the temple worship, although the temple worship is there and it's supportive. But the real worship is the kirtan. Because that's the religion for the age. Deity worship was for another age, a previous age. Although Krishna and the acharyas are very kind, they're giving a remnant of that. Why? Because it helps support the kirtan. And that's the real worship. The actual worship is the kirtan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So Raganuga Bhakti is thought of as, there's no external regulation like that. The deity worship is not stressed. There's no, someone is attracted like that, that's fine, but it's not, the spontaneous platform doesn't require any external guidelines. It's an internal motivation by connecting with a devotee who is situated in the transcendental, spiritual, ecstatic worship of the Lord. By hearing from them, then everything comes from that. One's behavior is modified in that way, internally, not external rules to modify the behavior, but the behavior automatically falls in line with the association of the ecstatic devotee. And then it's an internal experience. But it's not like there aren't any regulative principles, but the regulative principles are different. They're not external. The other day, Srila Gauri was saying, the regulated, he didn't point it out specifically, but he was using the words regularly hearing. The verse that he was discussing was about continuous hearing, but he qualified that, saying that is making it too difficult for us, continuous. We may reach that platform, but that's like the platform of the Goswamis, continuous, 24 hours, you're talking about Haridas Thakur, you're talking so for those of us on the path, regular hearing. So regular, that's a regulated principle. That's the regulative principle for the Raganuga Bhakti, is to regularly hear. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. There's a regulative principle also. Hare Krishna, Krishna, and then it's the hearing, which is the essence of it all, really, is hearing. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yeah, so like this morning, just mind was racing over this, racing over that, trying to find some shelter. And it's described that's what goes on at the time of death also. As the mind races, to find a solution, because there's a big problem, the body's not working. And the mind has been serving the body, for a long time. We've been traveling through many species with the mind, and the mind's always tried to find the solutions. That's the mind's job, Mind is worried about job security, because that's the mind's service, that's the mind's job, is to find a solution for whatever's fulfill our desires, okay? Krishna is the one who's fulfilling all desires. So the mind is like, the mind thinks that the mind is fulfilling all the desires. Silly mind, the mind is really kind of a foolish entity, the mind. The mind is like fulfilling all desires, right? No, Krishna is fulfilling the desires. So the body is like too cold, right? So the mind will come up with a solution. Go get that sweater, or go get that blanket. The mind was fulfilling the desire, right? In that way, the mind kind of eclipses or gets in the way of surrender to Krishna, Hare Krishna. But the mind is a servant and can be brought into alignment with the intelligence. Unfortunately, the intelligence is very lazy and is usually asleep somewhere in the back room. Hare Krishna. So we're chanting Hare Krishna, and the intelligence can be awakened chanting Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So time of death, the mind is racing to find a solution, Was it something that happened in the 4th grade of school? Was it something, we're trying to find the solution. Where's the solution? Like if you lose your wallet, right? The mind starts to race. Where was the last place you were? What did you leave it in the car? Is it on the shelf? Is it in the bedroom? Did someone steal it? It's like, the mind is trying to find a solution. At the time of death, the mind does the same thing. Only on a grand scale, because there is no solution, material solution for death. And isn't that what the whole medical field is doing? Racing to find solutions for the sufferings of the body, and even with the hopes of finding a solution for death with some chemical or artificial heart or something. Hare Krishna. There is no material solution. Hare Krishna. So I was experiencing a little bit of that racing this morning, trying to find a solution for this distress that I was experiencing of being dictated to by the material body and the material mind and senses. They were just demanding that they be taken care of. And I'm like, hold on a second, there's no material solution for your distress. There's no material solution. And that's when the crying like a baby. Because the baby's helpless, For those that have children, especially, you know, babies, they cry. They wake up in the middle of the night and they cry, helpless, do something. Hare Krishna, and the mother comes, comforts the baby. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So that's the kind of crying for Krishna, like a helpless baby. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, and Krishna comes. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram. And everything's okay. Everything's all right. What could possibly be wrong? That was that was the experience with Srila Prabhupada. Such a empowered representative of the Lord. In his presence, what could possibly be wrong? What material world? What are you talking about? Oh yeah, that's that way over there somewhere, material world. Yeah, it's like, what could possibly be wrong sitting there in the presence of of Srila Prabhupada? Hare Krishna, Hare, the representative of the Lord, foremost representative. What could possibly be wrong? Well, that's a very similar experience to attending Srila Gaura Haridasa's sessions. You know, what material world, right? Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare. What could possibly be wrong? Because they have an atmosphere about them. The Krishna conscious atmosphere goes with them wherever they go. That's why traveling to these different holy places, really the pure devotee, representative of the Lord, is the sum total of all these holy places. Because wherever they go, that holy place, the holy places go with them, especially Vrindavan, for a pure devotee like that. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So, you know, when a baby cries, it's not soft, it's very loud. It's ear-piercing. When an infant cries, it's ear-piercing. Ear-piercing. You know, sometimes, like if you're in the store, you know, and the mother's trying to do the shopping and the baby's in the little seat in the stroller or the shopping cart, and they'll let out a howl, and the mother's like horrified because it carries everywhere. Everybody in the whole store can hear this howling. It's kind of like why I haven't been going to Mongol Artik lately, because I don't think I could keep it in, you know, and I just, like, you know, I'd be like that howling infant in the department store, you know. It's like, that was one of the experiences I had when last time I went to the Mongol Artik, was that it's like a department store, you know. It's like a store, a department store in the temple. You've got, you know, these different departments, and so-and-so is in charge of this department, and so-and-so is in charge of that department, and, you know, all these departments. And I'd be like the howling infant in the department store. Like, so I just kind of haven't been going. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Because I was really starting to howl the last few times I went. So, better not to disturb them like that. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Some of the devotees are able to actually cry before the camera. I'm a little camera shy, so I've been crying, but the minute I turn this thing on, I kind of like, it goes away. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So I have to just, say that what has happened, rather than, being able to display it. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, but you can see, right, that's kind of like red, swollen, right? Hare Krishna. One thing is, there's a tremendous amount of relief crying like that for Krishna, crying like a baby for Krishna is a tremendous amount of relief. Because Krishna comes to the aid of the devotee. Krishna comes there. And everything is set in order. Everything is balanced out. And all these, the mind and all this, whatever's, it starts to sound like a lot of chatter, a lot of different voices. What about me? What about this? What about that? You have to fix this. Oh, what are you going to do about that? What about this? It's like, it must be just the mind having a fit, So by actually crying for Krishna, the mind backs off. Yeah? Mind's like, because the intelligence takes over, spiritual intelligence. And Krishna gives the intelligence, and then everything balances out. The nightmare is over. It's like a nightmare. The nightmare is over. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. The night in material existence is like a nightmare, really. It's like a bad dream. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. It's a dream, that's all. It's a dream. And crying for Krishna, you wake up. You wake up from the bad dream, and the nightmare is over. Hare Krishna. But loud is very helpful. I know I'm talking softly now, but loud. So I have that luxury of being a little isolated here, a little solitary, so I can get as loud as I want. And it doesn't disturb anyone. It's a real luxury. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, but loud. The more you get those decibels up there. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Loud calling, loud. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Scream if you have to, just scream. Wail, cry, whatever. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And then tears will come. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And cry like a baby. It works. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Shankara, he says the most incredible things. He said, I'm proud. Prabhupada is an ecstatic devotee. But according to time, place, and circumstance, he was teaching the Vaidhi Bhakti, the external behavior modification part of Bhakti. that get them to act like devotees. And then, you know, maybe they'll become devotional at some point. As long as they keep hearing and chanting, there's always the hope that that will happen. But get them to act according to rules and regulations to modify their external behavior, to act like a devotee. Even though inside is all kinds of stuff. But if they act like a devotee and they keep hearing and chanting, then, you know, Hare Krishna, and they hear from me in my books, you know, then there's a possibility that they'll actually develop this ecstatic devotion. So that was, he was the physician, he was the doctor, and he came with that prescription. Hare Krishna. But he himself was an ecstatic devotee. He was experiencing so many things internally. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. So Srila Gauranga says, so, you know, these ecstatic emotions, they're not, they're very hard to hold in, especially if there's more than one or two. At the same time, they come out. They're very visible. Hare Krishna. So Srila Gauranga says, so if Prabhupada felt that coming on, that kind of ecstatic, I have to go to my room now. To go to my room now. Because the devotees weren't ready to see or experience these different things. Prabhupada had to go to his room now. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Wow. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yeah. Wow, I did get to tell Prabhupada that I loved Krishna. I did get to tell him that from the bottom of my heart. Yeah, I did get to tell him that. I did. He accepted it, yeah. It's like, yeah. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada was in Los Angeles, 1974, and the marathon for printing and publishing the Chaitanya Charitamrita was going on. By the way, that book itself manifested in the most incredible ecstatic frenzy. I mean, the whole 17 volumes with all the editing and proofreading in Sanskrit and Bengali and illustrations and the whole thing. It was just a matter of months that it manifested. The devotees, they didn't even sleep. They worked round the clock. Some of those paintings, an artist would be working on one of those paintings and they'd be so tired they just couldn't stay awake anymore. And another artist would come and pick up the paintbrush and continue on the painting. And they were getting like 1 hour of rest. They would lie down. I know, Jadharani, she asked me to wake her up. She was going to take rest. This went on for weeks on end. And she lay down at like 2:30 and she asked me to please wake her at 3:30, and that was it. So she lay down at 2:30, closed her eyes for a couple of minutes, and then like she asked me to, I woke her at 3:30. She sat up like someone rising out of a coffin, you know. She was still so tired. She went back to paint. Hare Krishna, Hare, and that's how that Chaitanya Charitamrita manifested, was in that incredible frenzy. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So during that time, Prabhupada was taking a tour of the BBT, especially the art department. The art department was very dear to him. He loved the paintings. And so he was touring the art department, and he'd just come out of one of the buildings, and of course he was surrounded by a flurry of devotees all hovering all around him. And somehow or other I managed to get into the flock there, and I got right up next to Prabhupada. And all I could say was, with as much love and surrender and ecstatic mood as possible, as personal as possible, all I could say was, right in his ear, Krishna. That's all I could say. Couldn't say anything else. That's all I could say. Just right in Prabhupada's, Krishna. I had no position, I had no service, I wasn't an artist, I wasn't a typesetter, I wasn't the president, I wasn't anything. I was just allowed to run around a parking lot with books. I was allowed to do that. In ecstasy. I loved doing the Sankirtan. Just being spontaneously running up to people, and it was like knocking on a door and seeing who was home. The door would open, and there, not really knocking on a door, but when you approach somebody, it's like, who's in there, Hello, Krishna here, who's in there, It was fun, I loved it. But I wasn't, I didn't have anything that brought me into personal contact. Prabhupada, I wasn't his secretary, I didn't cook his meals, nothing. But I got to tell him that right in his ear. And he stopped, and he looked at me. His eyes got big. And then he moved on. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So, that was that. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. It doesn't take much with a pure devotee, It's like, because it's about the Vani anyway. The Vapu is, the physical presence is necessary. It is necessary. But it can be misunderstood and taken cheaply. And similarly with the Vani also, they can be misunderstood and manipulated around and used for other purposes than, developing pure devotional love for the Lord. There's that too. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. The Maya can get in just about anywhere. She's Krishna's illusory energy. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. But the important thing with the pure devotee is to hear from him. That's the significance. You whether hear from him while he's physically present, or to hear from him in his recorded words. It's the hearing. Just like with the deities, serving the deity is wonderful, but the real thing is the kirtan. Because that's the process for us in this age, is this hearing and chanting. Especially congregationally, together in association, especially. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So, those are some of my realizations after crying like a baby for a little while. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you for letting me share that. Maybe it'll help somebody. Krishna.